Hey, good evening. How's it going? All right, so there we are. Hey, as you can see and tell by my little header here, I'm going back to glass today. Last week I had actually started working on kind of a revamp piece of something I had done about a year ago. And it is something that I was at that point in time pretty proud of and wanted to kind of recreate. And I kind of got about this far into it. And just decided, just not feeling it today. Just, no. So, what I wanted to do is, I still kind of want to recreate something again. I'm liking the idea of sort of gauging how far I've come to recreating some of my favorite stuff. So, I have actually got a hold of another jar identical to the one that I used for what I want to recreate. This is a jelly jar. It's just a little Snickers jar. And actually, this is what I'm going to try to recreate. This was one that I had done, I don't know, 9-10 months ago maybe. I don't know, something like that. And I was really upset because I had used some paints that I had not tried before, a brand of some metallic. And I wasn't 100% sure at the time that I started it if it was going to cure okay. And before I could find an answer, before I heard back from the manufacturer, I got a little antsy and I was like, you know what? Instead of oven curing it, I'm just going to go ahead and spray it. I'm just going to go ahead and varnish it. And I ended up not liking how the matte appearance is here. And I don't know how well that actually comes out. You can see that or not. Because the same exact one made this beautiful lid though. It shines like no tomorrow. This thing, it's beautiful. So, but like I said, I decided that I'm going to recreate it. So, and this time in green. I'm gonna go find some greens. So that's sort of where I'm at right now. Let's see. I'm kind of scoot this guy up here. This is one of the greens that I know I want to with. Oh, hey. Get some captions going for you. Okay. So I do this green. I have true green. Probably gonna be a good idea. And I think I've probably got another. I've got a ton of shades in green. I just gotta figure out what I actually want. It's blue. Now in the original one, I think I used 3 colors and an accent. So I have this really dark one. I think I've even got a darker one. Nope. That's just about the same here. And I like that brand better. So I'm gonna stick with that. You know what? Why don't I go? So I've got 3 greens. I need something like a beige, something to offset that a little. See what I got playing around here. Got those 3. And I've got white. Okay, all right. So here's my green. I want to use. I should get this up a little. Just don't have to be that zoomed in, huh? Okay. So there's my greens. And what do I want to do? This one's too dark. It's too dark. I like the toasted marshmallow, but I'm kind of leaning towards this one, which is a buff. Maybe in white. Something like that. Might even look better with this one instead of white. I don't know if it'll be too much of a contrast there. I think at least these three to start are really, really good. I'm gonna like those. So I'm gonna hang on to the white and this beige. Okay, great, so there's these. This is what I'll start with. Okay, I'm gonna get them shaken up. Get this back in front of me here. Okay. The other thing that I'm gonna do is I gotta get this. This is something that I don't even know that I used the first time around, so this will be interesting too. I'm gonna have a different way to have this kind of did too. So okay, so this is my glass medium. Essentially what the glass medium does is make sure that the paint adheres to the smooth surface of the glass. This is not a thinning agent. It does not make my paint thinner. It does not dilute. It also does not change the opaqueness of my paint. Okay, all right. I don't even know if you can see that. It dries clear. And like I said, it doesn't dilute it at all. Okay, so the ones that I decided on, shake this up really good. I don't use this brand a whole lot. This is my sap green. I do even have a darker one than this, but I don't think so. It almost looks black. Put it on me to start with. Okay. And then let's go to True Green. Couple of nice shades so far. Let me get these straight out of the way. This color I didn't think I was gonna like, but I actually really enjoy this one. This really gives me a forest vibe. Really does. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera. Try not to touch the desk as I do that, but let's get this there. I think that's a good, nice, cool palette. I'll get this center down in front of me here a little bit better. And hopefully there's not a whole ton of reflection. Kind of move my lights around just a little. Probably get that out of the light a little too. Okay. All right. It's hard to film glass without like a super setup here. So, all right. So there's that. Let's get these mixed. I'm just gonna grab a tool. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Make sure to get this incorporated. I don't want to get too crazy with the stirring, because when I incorporate this, if I get too crazy, then I'm going to end up with a ton of bubbles. I do find that no matter what I do, some colors in particular still draw bubbles. No matter how soft or hard I seem to stir, they just, I don't know, I guess it's just the thickness of that particular one. So. I'm sure there are better ways to mix this as well. Something a little more sophisticated than just using my tool, but it's worked. And you can tell here, as I'm mixing it, you're not seeing any shift of color. And like I said, it doesn't change the thickness. So these stay nice and thick so that they're not running on the glass. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. But yeah, again, it's not a medium to thin. It's just a little bit thicker consistency naturally than the paint itself that I work with, the brands that I use. And I use brands that are on the cheaper side, just because when I started out, that's what I wanted to use. I didn't want to get too heavy-handed into a lot of expensive stuff and then decide that I didn't like the craft, that I didn't want to continue with it. So, but I found that I liked it. I like the simplicity of just being able to paint right out of the bottle without having to use a medium of any kind. Especially because I don't paint a ton, right? I don't have a whole lot of time. So when I do sit down to paint, I just want to be able to grab something, right? I don't want to spend a lot of time prepping. Next. Okay. Next. All right. So essentially, just want to make sure. Yes. I should probably tuck that in. Let's see. Get it sort of where I want it. Okay. All right. Now. Now, I'm not drawing the full lines because I'll show you here. Let me finish these and then I'll show you. Okay. It's probably pretty obvious, but at the time that I did the first one, it wasn't. And afterwards I was like, oh, I'm such an idiot. It's common sense stuff. But at the time I wasn't really thinking about that. So, okay, there we go. It's just an expo marker, by the way. It's not a permanent marker. Okay, all right. Ta-da. Got it out of the way. All right. Probably can't even see that, huh? Dark. All right, that's out of the way. Now, I've only put just the dots to line that up, not the straight lines, because I think you can see it in that one, because there's a back side. I mean, duh, right? I mean, you can see right through it. And so if I had all these lines that I couldn't remove, then in the end, it's going to be a disaster. You're going to be able to see everything through it, so don't want to go through that again. Don't want to feel like an idiot in the long run. Okay. So let's go. Okay, gonna head out with my big gun here. Big old fat number 10. And let's start dark. Let's make sure that I got all the bubbles out of the top of this. Right. Okay. One dot down. Get that wiped off and put away right away because I won't need that again. I'm going to do a second here. I'm going to try to adjust this a little. I've got a little bit of light. I don't need to blind anybody with reflections, but at least see what I'm doing, right? Okay. All right, that's a little better. So I'm just going to follow the path across here. And let's see. This tucked. It's just a washcloth that I have under here, and I have a little Ziploc bag. Just full of some old pinto beans, just to make sure that I don't go rolling away. And then if I need to tilt my piece at all, I have the option to do that too. Real quick. It's hindering the movement of my turntable here, so I gotta adjust it a little. Okay. There. That's better. Okay. All right. Now then. Let's see what size I'm going to start with here. Okay. And I'm just going to follow the clock. The clock, the compass, whatever. So north, south, east, west, 1 o'clock, 6 o'clock, whatever. And then go back in and fill. Oof, my hand slipped. Slipped right there. And that's what we have Egypt for. There you go. Let's see. You clean that up, you just kind of want to twist, even twist. You know what I might, because I'm not so far in, and let's see if I can't get this cleaned nicely enough. So it dropped right into this one too. Okay. All right, try that again. Give that just the lightest little touch. All right, so layer one down. Okay. Now for the second layer, let's go over to this light green, and then let's follow the pins again, but I know that there's going to be a gap, and I'm going to fill that in. A little differently. So there's that. Now I'm going to come back in. Do I want to stay? No, probably not. So I'm going to go drop down to a 2.5. This was a 3. Let's go into my beige color here. And then this last one here. Now I want to go nice and small. I'm going to go into the little tiny one here. Back into the dark green. And I'm just going to put a dot on each of these here. It's kind of a landing space. Basically all this is going to do is give a tiny little separator, because I'm going to use walked dots on these. I'm going to have one large one right above this little tiny one with walked dots around it. And this gives the smallest little gap so that you don't run your walked dots into the lower one. It gives this nice little space. Okay, all right, let's go back into this one. And every couple of dots, 2 or 3 here, I am wiping my tool off. So see a little brief pause kind of in between. Because it really does make a difference with the consistency if you don't, because then the paint starts to build up at the tip and your dots are going to be larger. Next in series is going to be larger than the one before it, and before you know it, you've got something funky. Let's turn around this way. Okay. So there's that. All right. Doesn't look like much now, let me tell you. All right, so the next thing is I will go up another size. Let's go to the light green. And oh, this is the last one. No, almost. We're getting there. Okay. Now comes some fun here. Okay. And let's see. And these are so tiny to start with. I can barely make them out sometimes. Hey, how's it going? I have been streaming every Monday. I think it's just you probably right now. I have been all up in this work here today. But no, I'm still consistently out here every Monday, just kind of hanging out a little. Just sort of got a random craft going here. I think the last time I had skipped a stream date was maybe about 2 months ago. Oops. Jeez. Got off of it real quick. How are things going? Brand new and exciting things in the world that I'm missing, I'm sure. And there's that. Let's go up one here. Let's go to 1.5. And we're gonna head back over to dark green. So I can get pretty close here to this other one. You can stay rather consistent. I feel like this looks so much just like a plain turtle right now. Like just these shades of green, nothing exciting. Yeah, but Last time on this, I didn't actually do much top dotting at all, but I really want to this time, especially now that I know the paint is curable. Some of the metallics that I have and stuff have been curable, so I'm going to embellish just a little bit more this time around. And I'm not going to varnish it. Oh my God, no. Never going to do that ever again. Learned my lesson. Did not like it at all. Okay, there's that one. Now, let's go up here. I'm gonna need beige, buff, whatever this color is. My dots are a little bigger, so I'm gonna need a header dot here instead. Make sure that's the right size. All right. Flip my tool over, get into a 1.5 here. And then I'm going to go the opposite direction. Which I got to get my hands and stuff for. And again, try to wipe my tool off as often as I remember. I like this pattern. It's just relaxed. I like the way it kind of flows. Used it a couple of times now, actually, so. Okay, let's get a 3 dot here. Let's go back into my nice dark green. Just kind of make a header. Little header dot here. At least that's what I call it. That's not a real name. And essentially, again, all that is going to be the larger dot that starts out your walk dots. And I think it looks a lot better if you do a just a larger tool to make that dot. Then try to use the tip of your dipped and then just continue on, which gives that a little bit more of a head, like I said, a little header, a little more accentuated, and then there. All right. Let's go in the other direction here. You want to try to dip your tool consistently as well. That definitely helps. Try to control the size here. Last one, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. And that's essentially it. Now that I have some proper room here though, what I could do is come back in, especially like right here. Let's go down a little smaller to the one. And let's take a little beige dot. Just give a little extra fill in here. And then I'm gonna let this dry. And I'll be back to work on it next Monday once I finish this and get all of it top dotted. Maybe gold. Can't think of another better color to do the green than gold. I love this color of champagne gold that I have. All right, so there's that. Now, on the original design, I had these little flourishes out on the side. And I don't know if I want to keep those or not. I originally did it because I kind of goofed. I had made a mistake. But what I could do is, even though there really wasn't anything here, what I can do is here and here, I could draft the line and make the swooshes out like I did before. And kind of do something very similar to that. So I might, but I still need to give this time to dry because I don't want to be tilting this jar too much to one side or the other just for the risk of it dripping. So, okay. And actually, I think I'm going to save this paint. And see if maybe I can pick this up tomorrow instead of next Monday. We're just going to see what tomorrow holds. So, all right. And I just slip the whole thing in a plastic bag. Just a little quart-sized plastic bag here fits perfectly. And then I'm just going to leave it. This will dry to the touch, well into the touch overnight. And then I'll pick that back up later. So you can barely see that green. That's going to dry so nice and dark. I'll get it lightened up with maybe some white and some gold, I think would be good. And then just kind of see where we go from there. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for joining me. If you're hitting me up after the fact, I'll be back again, like I said, maybe tomorrow. But for sure, no matter what, that's going to be next Monday. Come hang out with me. If you've got any questions or concerns, drop them in. I'd love to see them. I have not done so in a minute, but I may go ahead and upload this broadcast or this stream to YouTube, just to make sure that anybody that wants to catch it after the fact can certainly do so without the 14-day or the 7 constraint of Twitch. All right, but take care. Have a nice night and enjoy.